Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in Maui, Hawaii, and my name is Federal Postal Judge David-Wynn Miller. I punctuate my name with a full colon because it creates a prepositional phrase. I use a hyphen to make my David-Wynn a compound fact, and then I follow that with a full colon to identify my surname, which is Miller. So it's for the David-Wynn of the Miller family, because full colons are prepositional phrases to express a fact. You also use it in your digital time, your full colons. Now, what we're going to do today, we're going to have 5 different segments here. And we're going to go through the parts of speech and explain what the parts of syntax are when it comes to writing. We are then going to explain how the parts of a sentence are constructed. Then we're going to go to the way that the federal government has created over 40 million mortgages under the fraudulent conveyance of language under the laws of Title 18, 1001, and Title 15, Section 1692E under false and misleading statements, Title 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under coloring of the laws. And we're going to explain the sentence structure from the mortgage and how it is used as fraud. We're going to explain the sentence structure used by the attorneys to support the mortgage, how they are using fraud. And then we're going to explain how the banking system uses your money to make you both the borrower and the lender. So they don't have the jurisdiction or the venue to foreclose your property, only be a servicing agent for that conclusion. So what we're going to start with first is the parts of speech. Now the parts of speech are, we're going to use a numbering system 0 through 9. The numbering system is to identify each part of speech and how it appears between one word and another. And when we take documents and we go ahead and we put the numbers on top of the words, it's because to write the words out, to write the parts of speech word out on top of the words would take up too much time and would be too confusing. So we use a number substitution, which we will go through. Now we use 0 as a conjunction, and there's 2 conjunctions in the English language. And is a command, and the word or is an option. Now the word, the adverb, we gave a 1 because the adverb is used more than any other word, and the adverb is a modifier. It modifies the speed of which something is going to be modified at. Now the adverb will modify a verb, which is thinking or motion. So when you have a 1 in front of a 2, it's an adverb creating a verb. Now 3 is used for an adjective because an adjective represents color, opinion, and modifier, or modification, which means you're going to change something or try to influence an individual's ability to think by coloring it. If you color something and you change it, you're actually committing perjury because you're injecting your own prejudice or your opinions based on how you're going to describe it. And the word describe, de means know, ascribe means to write. So you're changing the condition to create a no written document. Now the adjective will always appear in front of a pronoun, just like we have the word black. Black is a fact. The word pen is a fact. You put black in front of pen and it means black pen. Black is an adjective. And it prejudices the word pen. You could use the word cobalt or carbon pen, because carbon is black, and it also is a shade of black. There's 1,200 shades of black, so you can basically say there's 1,200 ways to modify the word pen by just using one color, and color is an infinity of an opinion. Now, in the presentation of these numbers, the positional lodial fact which is 5, 6, and 7. The position of a word identifies using the ABC alphabet. Now this is between two individuals. When they come together, they have to agree on what alphabet they're going to use. If we were in China, we'd be using the Chinese alphabet. If we were in Russia, we'd be using the Russian alphabet. Or in France or Germany, or if we were in Arabic or Indian. So the communication skills have to be established as to what alphabet you're going to be using. Then you have to take that alphabet and spell out your word. Now if we're going to use the English language, this would be a pen, P-E-N. If we're going to write it in Hawaiian language, it would be called a penny, P-E-N-N-Y. If we're going to use it in Spanish, it would be called a scribola. So the spelling of the word would then change. And then we have to give a term to the word spelling and identify what the pen is used for. The pen is used for writing. So we're going to give it a definition that both persons agree upon in order to communicate with each other. Now the position is always followed by a condition of lodial. Now lodial, L-O means location, D-I is original, and A-L is contract. That's called the parse of a word. Now if we're going to say for my pen, for your pen, for her pen, for his pen, for our pen, every time I change the lodial position of ownership, I change the definition of this pen. If I say for your pen, for my pen, for her pen, for his pen, I'm changing the preposition, the position, and I'm also changing the ownership. So therefore the fact is going to continue to change. I can do this 900 different ways because there are 68 prepositions and 38 articles. When you multiply those out, they come to 2,000. Divided by 2 is 1,000. Minus about 100 words that would never come together and be used in a logical explanation. So therefore there's about 900 logical explanations to identify this one object. When you take two objects using a prepositional phrase and you bring them together, now you have for the black of the pen, or for the pen of the black. You have black, which is a fact, and you have pen, which is a fact. Well, 900 times 900 is 810,000 variables that you can write this combination into. When you add a third word to this, for the black of the pen with the writing, now writing would then become a condition of a fact. And now we have 900 times 810,000 gives me 720 million. For the black of the pen is with the writing on the paper. Now we have four words. 900 times 720,000 is 640 million variables. So you can see this can become a very large, complicated document when you're going into a mathematical certification to create a correct prepositional phrase or a correct structural sentence, better known as a Parse Syntax grammar. Now number 8, the 5 of a position always comes in front of a 6, which always comes in front of a 7, which is a fact. Now when we went to school, they taught us to use a preposition, pre meaning no position. An article, which is spelled A-R-T, which is a vowel and 2 consonants, which means no contract. So if you had no position and no contract, you'd have a noun, N-O-U-N, which is no-no. Now if you have a no-no, you have nothing. So they lied to us when they went to school. So we had to create a new paradigm of communications called the position lodial fact. The next factor was the past time and the future time. The past always comes before the future, and 8 always comes in front of 9. So it was a natural phenomena of the way that the numbers fall in, because an adverb comes before a verb, an adverb comes in front of an adjective, the adjective comes before the pronoun, the position, the lodial, and the fact are always kept together as a 5, 6, 7, and the past always comes in front of the future.